Mark off a team pacemaker here, the saviour of the British scooter scene, international playboy and film star and self-employed welder. But today I've bought the cheapest Lambretta on the whole of Marketplace, and I plan to get this going as is, then put it back on the road and then ride 2,000 miles through 5 different countries, potentially more if and when I get lost, to this year's International Euro Lambretta in Austria. But what Lambretta model are we reviving this time, Mark? Well, in England we called these the GP or Grand Prix. In Italy they called them the DL or Deluxe. And in India they called them the vijay or Elwyn Pushpack, Falcon, etc, etc. But this one is VJ Super Mark II. And in previous series on this channel, we did the Italian LI Series 2, Italian LI Series 3, Spanish Series 3, and a Bitzer, the multicultural Bitzer TV. So I was looking for an Indian GP, and then I found an Indian GP, and heaven knows I'm miserable now. No, only joking. I'm happy. I'm happy in the haze of a drunken, stop it, Mark. I'm happy because it only cost me 650 squids. So, for 650 quid, it's everything you'd expect and less. Yeah. So I expect some of you are thinking, why is it only 650 quid, Mark? And there's a few visual clues here. That something's a little bit awry at the front end. So, so yeah, let's have a good look around this and see what we're up against. And expect loads of non-stop Indian puns in this series. What? I'm sorry, but you knew what you were getting into when you subscribed to this channel. You knew I like to get carried away with the dad jokes. So here we are, back round the back again, by the high security gate. I had to come round the back really, that's just too hectic by my workshop these days. When I first started filming these, I was the only person around there. Now there's about 5 other businesses, so it's just, yeah, I've got to find another workshop really, but anyway, I digress. So we've come round the back to just give this a once over. See what we're up against, spot the deliberate mistakes. And as always, my goal with these is to get it running as is, preferably today, yes really, and take it for a ride somewhere apt. But I'm thinking before we do that, I should just very briefly go over what little history I know about this GP. So very briefly, I bought this from a small scooter dealer in Derby, and I won't mention his name because he'll probably get inundated with people phoning up asking him if he's got any more 650-pound Lambrettas, which he hasn't, by the way. So this was brought into the UK 16 years ago in a container from India full up of Indian scooters, and they all got sold pretty much straight away, and this one was left like the runt of the litter for reasons that we'll go into in a minute. So it's been here for 16 years under a lean-to. It got shoved in the back of this lean-to that was like a roof but 3 open sides, and it's just sat there in disgrace ever since. But prior to that, I have actually got the original Indian logbook. So we know that it was built in Lucknow in 1982, and it was actually sold in Lucknow as well and spent all its life in Lucknow. And we know that because when I first got this anyway, it had a, whoops, upside down, it did have this little dealer plate on there that when I tried to clean it up, I broke off because I'm a clumsy oaf, a bit like that. But to be fair to me, it was hanging on by a thread like that. So, but if you can just see, would you Adam and believe it? But it's Ashish Autos, sold and serviced by Ashish Autos in Lucknow. And I did Google them, and they actually still exist. So, used and abused probably as an everyday workhorse in India, and then laid up for God knows how many years. And then we know for a fact that it's been in the UK for 16 years, rusting away underneath a lean-to. Where should we start? So I guess we address the elephant in the room. No, not Ganesh, because technically Ganesh isn't an elephant. He's a boy with an elephant's head, but we'll get into that a bit later. No, I think the anoraks amongst you will notice that the front end there is a little bit smashy. I think you can tell that by the fact that the front wheel is almost touching the rear of the mudguard, yet the front of the mudguard has got an enormous gap. And also, a dead giveaway is the leg shields here are proud of the headset. So it looks to me like it's had a massive impact that way, and then that's bent the frame that way. So not only do we know for a fact that the forks are bent to buggery, but we're pretty sure that the frame's bent as well. So I guess start down at the front here. So I thought someone's been getting busy with the welder here, and I thought, why has someone done that? But then I thought, I guess if it wasn't there forcing that mudguard up, the mudguard would rub against the frame and you wouldn't be able to ride it. So you can see how tight that is. So yeah, nice bodge. And also, anoraks amongst you will notice that the front wheel's not supposed to do that. So I think what we've got there is a collapsed hub bearing, and also the fork springs aren't usually that easy to move. So I'm guessing that the fork springs are gone as well. So yeah, someone was riding around on this with collapsed front hub bearing, fork springs that are gone or dodgy, bent forks, a bent frame on these tyres. Well, to be honest, I have seen much worse on an Indian scooter. But having said that, I imagine it still handles better than a Vespa though. So yeah. Anyway, moving on up. That's nice to see. The original Scooters India Limited stamp on the, well, I was going to say levers, but it's actually only got one lever, which is actually the only thing missing. Well, apart from most of the speedo. So yeah, apart from most of the speedo and that lever, that is the only thing missing on this scooter really. But it's also still got the original grips on there, which is nice. Oh, that throttle's a bit notchy. But surprisingly, everything still works, which brings you round to the clutch, which is a massive surprise that the clutch and the gears actually still work and actually feel all right. A little bit rough, but we'll find out about that in a minute. So I expect you're all wondering what's in the toolbox, Mark. Yeah? Okay, then let's find out. Oh. Oh. Oh, someone's left a samosa in there. amazing, you'll love it. Okay, so I expect you're wondering what it's like underneath the panels. Rusty, that's what it's like. And I expect the first thing you'll notice is that it hasn't got a Deli Auto watt. It's got one of those Mikuni copies, as opposed to the later vijay Mark IIs that had the Spaco and the JetX Del Auto copies. This is like a Mikuni copy. I can't remember what the name of these are. Are these Spacos? You probably can't say that anymore. Well, when I go to clean it up, I'll have a look, because I expect you'll have sleepless nights wondering what they're called. Everything. Oh, fucking hell. Have you ever seen anything like that before? What the hell's happened there? So obviously that engine mounting's completely collapsed. Well, it looks like it's melted. Jeepers, what? Oh, I can't. Yeah. Someone's been messing about with the petrol tap, trying to get it running. A bit hopeful. What's that? Is that the throttle cable? Oh, that'll be why it's a bit notchy. But it's, well, it's all here. Oh, apart from the locking washer on the rear hub, it's all here. Plastic front mud guard, back mud guard, sorry. Rear mud guard even, for God's sakes. Classic, oh shit. Ah. Okay, so when we strip this to bend the frame back, I've got a little bit of welding to do there by the looks of it. And we all know about Indian Electrics. So I don't really know if that is factory or not. But either way, I'll have to redo that for Austria, obviously. As a lot of you probably know, this is a rear seat, or, well, what's left of a rear seat. So this is the base to a rear seat on an Indian Lambretta, that are rather funky when they rot away. So I was thinking of using this as a rear rack and welding some brackets on it and stuff. But I had to rethink that, because obviously I can't use that single seat because I'm a streak of lanky ginger piss, quote unquote. So I think I'm going to put an Ancelotti on there, or similar, so I won't be able to use that as a rack. I'll have to have a front rack. It's locked. Hang on. I'll get my scooter boy skeleton key. Oh shit, the cap's missing. Damn it. Oh, that smells funky. Oh, you can't see that. It's actually, I mean, it's got surface rust in there. It's actually not that bad, but oof. There's some black. Oh, you can't see that on the camera, can you? There is some black Guinness jelly in the bottom there. So obviously that's going to have to be cleaned out before I start this. So carb's going to have to come off and go in the sonic cleaner. I'm going to have to clean the tank out, obviously. Yeah. And oh yeah, rear light lens is also missing. That's probably the only things that are missing, though, to be fair. But what in the name of the dancing scar man is going on with this kickstart? That's had more work than Katie Price. It's a right old bodge up. And as for this kickstart, Wow. But to be fair to the guy, that is never going to break, is it? So, sir, we salute you. So that, oh, fucking hell, look at the state of that. Sorry, I dropped the camera there. So yeah, someone was actually riding this about with these engine mounts, plus all the shit that's going on at the front end as well. And the mind boggles. No wonder it got laid up. But yeah, on this side, as you can see, everything's here. Nothing really to take the piss out of, apart from that. But I expect the question that you're all asking is the engine free? So let's just have a little look, shall we? So, the moment of truth. So, it does actually turn over. And although you can't feel it, obviously, it does turn over with compression. And I know there's a horrendous noise coming from the engine, but I think that's just the flywheel rubbing against the flywheel cowl where someone stoved it in transport or something. So I think we can actually get this one running and take it for a ride. So will it go today, Mark? Don't be stupid. It's a bit like your parents at Christmas. It's great and all, but it's just not going to go, is it? So let's push it round the front, and we need to get the tank off, clean that out, put the carb in the sonic cleaner, see if it's got a spark, which I very much doubt, and then yeah, get it running. And I've got an apt place to ride to on this, and I can also tell you about my vision for this project. Generally, whenever I post a video, I might get like 300 or 400 comments, plus emails, plus messages, which is pretty blimmin' mind-blowing to me. And I do really appreciate the interaction and the banter and stuff, obviously. But I apologise if sometimes in that initial rush of comments, I might miss some of the more longer, more technical questions that are asked of me. Because technically, this isn't a technical channel. What I'm trying to say is that over the years, I may have picked up some bad habits, and occasionally I might cut some corners, because basically this is just a vlog. This is a tongue-in-cheek storytelling channel of how I revive and ride these old basket case Lambrettas. If you do actually want to know how to do things properly, you should really buy Sticky's Spanner's Manual. And coincidentally, he's just updated it and brought out the 4th edition. So I will stick the link in the description of this video. So basically, don't copy me, do it properly. And oh, I'm a poet and I didn't even... So yeah, what a time to be alive. When I was a lad, we didn't have manuals. We just asked the older lads and filled the blanks in with common sense. So yeah, don't be a spanner and buy a spanner's manual, I guess. Right, lads. And weirdos. We are back round the front. This is actually the next day, and it started raining and it's really cold, and yesterday was such a nice day. Anyway, I digress. In this episode, we're going to get this running. We're going to get it back on the road. No, we're going to ride it on the road. That almost sounded like I was going to get it roadworthy then. We're going to ride it on the road to an apt destination. And I was trying to think where we could possibly ride this locally. And first of all, I thought of my favourite Indian restaurant, and we could go for a curry. And then I thought, that is such a lazy stereotype, Mark. And heaven forbid anyone ever accuse me of that. But then I thought of a much more positive Indo-British collaboration from the 1800s. The Maharaj as well. Built by the Maharaja of Benares in India, in a little tiny village in Oxfordshire. But we'll get into exactly why later. It's only about 15 miles down the road, so it's about a 30-mile round trip. But obviously, we're going to need to do some work on this before we undertake such a journey, because if the feds see me riding this down the road, they're probably going to pull me over. And I don't want to take a chance on that. What? But yeah, so I know that the tyres have probably got about 4,000 miles left in them, but dem don't like that kind of stuff. So yeah, we probably need to put some new boots on here. We definitely need to change those engine mounts before riding it on the road. The front wheel bearing needs doing, and oh yeah, and we need to get it running as well. So that's what we're going to do in this episode. So what are your plans moving forward for this GP, Mark? And what's your vision for what you want it to look like? Well, I'm glad you asked that, because when we get back from the Maharaj as well, we've got to completely strip this down. The frame's got to go on the frame jig, obviously, and be straightened. And we've got some welding to do on the rear end there. And then basically my vision for what I want this to be is, and I hate the term rat rod because it implies that I'm some sort of hot rodder or something, and I'm not. So I'm going to call this a ratmod, because I'm going to obviously modify it, and it's a rat. But I'm basically, we're going to junk most of this, and we're just going to use the bare bones. So I'm going to use, obviously, all the original bodywork, and I'm going to try and bring out some of this lovely blue. This was the original colour inside the panel, this sort of royal petrol-y blue colour. Yeah, so I'm going to do the old Brillo trick on this all over and get that surface rust off and that oxidisation and bring out that lovely original paint again, all over. And I personally can't be doing with these turn-in mudguards. So, I mean, when I was growing up, all GPs had the fixed, you know, normal Lambretta mudguards on it, like the Vijay Mark 1. So, and the Italian GPs. So I'm going to put a fixed front mudguard on this, because this mudguard's fucked anyway. So I'll have a fixed front mudguard on it. I'm going to match the headset colour to the bodywork again. We're going to have a little bit of subtle sign writing in places by Slacker, of course. Keep it in the family, my brethren. And then we're going to scooter boy it up a little bit. So probably going to have a side stand on here in an 80s styly. And we'll have I've seen a lovely BGM sort of modern Ancelotti style slope seat that I think will look lovely on this. Long range tank, hydraulic disc with CNC housing and stuff. And then I think that's it for the bodywork, really. Yeah. So, and then engine-wise, we're gonna, you know, go a bit Indian on it, and it's gonna be a bit spicy. So, 5-speed gearbox, 62mm crank, and the top end, I'm going to use that. I'm going to use the Gori kit that I blew up on the way to Scotland last year. So we're going to set it up properly this time. So I'm going to build the engine, but then I'm going to send it up to Craig Hutchinson in Scotland, because when I was at the Euro last year, I got talking to him, and he'd worked on those gori kits before and set them up properly and tuned them and stuff. So he's gonna, because it's a great kit, but to me, it wasn't really an off-the-shelf kit. I think it needed to go to someone who knew what they were doing to set the port timings up and get the port timings right anyway, which is something that's beyond my pay grade. So he's gonna, I'm gonna send the engine up to him, and he's gonna set the top end up for me. And so I'm gonna drive the frame up there. We're gonna put the engine in at his place, put it on the dyno. I've got a chisel speed expansion chamber coming for it as well. Put it on the dyno, get it all set up, get the gearing set up and make sure that's all right. And then maybe take it for a spin in the lovely Scottish countryside. So yeah, that's about it. That is my vision for this project. But I guess we should stop waffling and actually get on with something, and not get too ahead of ourselves, eh? So first job is to get this Tommy tank out and give it a good clean through. And I was just about to spray some WD-40 on the trunnions and start trying to undo them. And I realised that the tank rubbers are either missing or have rotted away into nothing. And the straps can just come off by hand. So this could be the easiest job of the day. So hang on a second. Well, that was remarkably easy, because I didn't have to get out any tools whatsoever. Probably helped by the fact that the original rubbers have transformed into dishcloths and what can only be described as licorice all sorts. Marginally nicer than actual licorice all sorts. Anyway, back to the tank. And this has got some old skanky fuel and rust in it. Don't know if you can see that yet. Old skanky fuel in it, and it's pretty rusty in there. So we've got to clean that out. And in homage to the Series 2 series, I love the word homage. I love the word homage as much as I love the word coup d'etat. But in homage to the Series 2 series, where I made a gag about filling an old Pepsi bottle full of old fuel and then accidentally drinking it at the end, because this is a series about an Indian scooter, we've got some Indian Coca-Cola. So anyone that's ever been to India will recognise thumbs up. It's the Indian government version of Coca-Cola. Bottoms up for the thumbs up. It does taste a bit like bottoms as well. Only joking. It tastes exactly what you'd think it tastes like. Cheap SodaStream Coca-Cola. Oi, this isn't a food and drink review channel, you know. That must be the third confectionery and beverage anecdote that you've done in the last 10 minutes. Oh, and by the way, I know we have viewers from all over the world. So who might not know of such things, but licorice all sorts are a disgusting confectionery product that only really old people like. And SodaStream is it's basically fizzy water with E numbers and sugar that only very small children like. Oh, and people with a gin and tonic problem. Anyway, just get on with it, will you? All right. Fucking hell. Bugger. Damn it. Ooh. Oh no, I haven't got a top, have I? That's where this dishcloth from the petrol tank can come in handy. Sorted. Out with the Coca-Cola, or thumbs up, and in with the white vinegar. Oh. God damn it. It's childproof. How the hell am I going to get into there? Right, so leave that for about a week now, and you should be able to eat your dinner off it. Although that'll probably be really difficult trying to eat your dinner from the inside of a petrol tank, but you know what I mean. Right, so while that's marinating, I think our next job is to get this carb off, and as you can see, probably needs a damn good cleaning out. I see the same guy, I think, that's done the wiring, has rigged up a return spring for the throttle there, and I'm not sure, this looks like a bit of rag hanging out of the carb, so I'm not sure what's going on there, but we'll find out in a minute, shall we? Oh, blimey. I think that needs a new air filter. I'm not sure whether the carb's loose or the whole engine's just loose. Probably a bit of both. Oh, it is. Ha! No tools again. What the... Yeah, so I know you're all having sleepless nights about the make of this carb, so it's not a Mikuni, it's a Micarb. Yeah, not a Mikuni copy at all there. Why? Why has someone put that outer cable there? Why not just connect that nipple up to there? What's the point of that? Right, anyway, let's get this off, get it in the sonic cleaner. Oh. Oh. Oh my God. Oh. Where's the needle? Oh my God. The needle is still seized in there. Oh fuck, that means the... Oh no, the C-clip's there. Okay. Right. Oh, that's a new one. Ooh. That's a bit nasty. How are we going to get that needle out? Oh my God. Jeepers. Okay, let's try and push it out from the bottom. No, maybe not. Well, that is definitely a first. Right, so off camera I was just doing some manipulation, trying to get that needle out. So I thought the best bet might be to get this, I want to call it a drift, but it's not, it's just a pointy screwdriver thing. Anyway, I thought I would just tap the needle through the atomizer to get it out, because it wasn't coming out of the top, and the whole atomizer and bush and everything has come out the carb. So yeah, that's proper seized in there. So I'm going to turn the camera off again and do some more manipulation. Right, we've had a bit of a drama here. So I sprayed loads of WD-40 on the atomizer to free up that needle, and then I wiggled it about a bit, and unfortunately I've snapped the needle off. So some of it's stuck down the atomizer and the other half is in my fingers, which, you know, if this was a Deli Auto, it wouldn't be an issue. But I don't think we ever had these in the UK, these micarbs. I think that was an Indian thing. So I can't get spares for these anywhere, like literally, not even Scooter Restorations do spares for these. So I've put a shout out on Facebook, and someone's actually got a second-hand one. They've taken off another VJ Super, so he's sending that to me tomorrow. But I think in the meantime, I think I will carry on cleaning this up, putting it in the sonic cleaner, and then when we get this spare carb, I think I'll just take the atomizer and needle out of that and put it in our carb, because I want to keep everything as much original to the bike and get it going like it was as possible. So yeah, it's a that's yeah, a bummer, dude. But yeah, we'll sort it. But it just means fucking delaying things a little bit more. But anyway, yeah. So I'll stick this in the sonic cleaner now, and then I think we'll have a look at the spark plug, see if it's sparking, take that out, put some stuff down a barrel, see if we can get it sparking. Right. Right, while that's buzzing away in the sonic cleaner and the tank's still marinating, well, get the spark plug out and see if it sparks, shall we? It won't. I can't see any problem with the electrics on this bike whatsoever, so yeah. But I'm glad to see that wasn't actually seized up. Bloody hell, how long's this? Oh. Doesn't actually look that bad at all. In fact, that looks quite a healthy colour. Okay. Right, let's see if it sparks. Oh, what's this? Myco. Oh, it's Bosch. Oh, okay. I've never... Yeah, anyway. Oh, actually, I'm just going to spray some stuff down there. Hang on. Yeah, because it didn't sound particularly healthy when I was kicking over before, so hang on, let's take you back a little bit. What a shocker. I did actually think I saw something then, that was just why I kicked it over so many times, but no, this... Right, I know I said I was trying to keep everything original to this bike and start it like as is with everything that's on it, but I don't think this cap is ever going to work properly, is it? So I think we will actually change that, because that... It's not good. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not good. And I think this plug is just a little bit of a clean up. Right, so just in case that's sussed it, let's give it a little try. You never know. No. What a shocker. So I guess let's follow it back. I probably could do with a bit of a clean up. There only appears to be one wire going to the coil though, and that disappears off into the loom. Disappears off into the loom there. So I'm not too au fait with Indian GP150 point systems, so obviously we'll have to refer to Sticky's excellent book. And sure enough, there's only one green wire from the coil that joins up in the junction box. Basically with one coil from the one wire, green wire from the stator joins up with one wire from the ignition switch. So, but it's sort of like that. Yeah, so I guess we've got to work out which one of those green wires. I can see which one's coming from the stator. Which one of those is coming from the ignition switch? Okay, that one is the one going to the coil. So that other one there must be the ignition switch. So we will bin that out of it. Totally forget that, because that's, I doubt the ignition switch even works anyway. So we've got the one from the coil. It's going to... Sorry, so rudely interrupted by the compressor. So we'll just wire it in, one coming straight from the stator, straight up to the coil. Right, so that's now hardwired from the stator with these high-tech Timu connections, and I've put a new connector on to the coil as well, and tested it, and that is a lovely connection. For want of a better electrical term. So let's see if that now sparks. No. What a shocker. Because we all knew what the problem's going to be, really, didn't we? It's going to be manky points. So, not looking forward to this. Look at the state of that. Okay, right, let's get in there. Okay, so I can't even be bothered to pretend to take these bolts out properly, because none of them are original. They're all like rusted up, and probably that's a wood screw. So yeah, I can't be bothered to pretend to do this properly, so let's just get the grinder out. Oh, right, that is off, and it looks like I've only actually got one screw, I think, holding this on. Oh, maybe that one, the side is as well. So what are the chances of... Bloody camera keeps falling over. Of this coming out? My money's on snappage. Oh, it did move. But is that just a prelude to it snapping? Oh no, it is actually. What a blimmin' shocker. Oh, okay. Well, that'll be why there was that scraping sound. It's not round anymore. Right. Oh my God, it looks a bit rotten in there. Ooh, that's the point. Well, rusty. Well, no surprises there. I don't know what that is. What is that? No, I know exactly what that is. That is one of those bodges because the flywheel or crank has obviously worn. Probably the flywheel's come loose, it's chattered about, elongated this hole, and someone's bodged that down the side, oops, down the side of the crank to space it out. Lovely. Yeah. That's probably why we weren't getting a spark, I would say. So let's just give that a good old clean up, shall we? See if we can get it working. Right, I've gone a little bit off piste and I've removed the stator because I just thought it's a lot easier to get to and clean up off the bike because I just wanted to get a wire brush on these coils and on the magnets here. And it's just a lot easier to work on the points than it on the bench. And also trying to get a camera to point at the stator whilst you're working on it on the floor is a bit of a nightmare. So yeah, it's just a lot easier really. So I'm just gonna pop a dom on the table here. Look, it's not easy being cheesy, you know, or in this case, paneer. Well, that doesn't really work, does it? Anyway, so that's sort of clean. I think, though, what I'm going to do, and I know this sounds a little bit mental, but I'm going to put it in the sonic cleaner. And I know you're thinking, what the fuck? Why are you putting electrics in water? But it's not like this is a computer or anything. It's literally just wound wires and wires soldered onto other wires. So as long as it's all blown off and dried afterwards, it should be fine. But I think it will just make it look a lot nicer. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put it in the sonic bath for a little while. I've just got to get the carb out though. Right. Everyone likes to soak in a hot bath, don't they? So what harm can it do? Right, let's give this a little blow off. Right, so doesn't that all look really nice? And there's like not really any technical reason why I gave that a sonic bath, but I just thought it would clean it up a bit more and maybe get rid of a bit of the corrosion and maybe some dry joints because it is quite hot, that bath. So, but yeah, it's definitely definitely come out. It definitely looks better anyway. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna. Well, I'm going home now. I'm gonna leave that overnight and then blow it off again in the morning, and we'll whack it back on the scooter and see if that actually works. Look at that. Could eat your dinner off that. I wouldn't recommend it, mind, but you could do if you wanted to. Right, flywheel's on. So let's, well, I suppose the first thing to do is just make sure that there is actually power coming out of this green wire. Hang on a second. Oh yes, we've got sparkles. That's not very convincing, actually. Yeah, there's definitely sparks coming out of there. Oh, but not from the frame. Mind you, it's as rusty as anything. Or maybe, actually, there isn't. Ah, yeah, because there's no. The earth wire's missing. Yeah, okay, let's rig up an earth wire. Right, I've connected an earth from the engine to the chassis. And I've connected that green wire coming out of the stator that goes into wiring loom, and there's the other end of it. So when we kick it over, hopefully power should be coming out of there, because this is the one that goes to the coil. So hopefully we just see some sparkles on the frame. Oh yeah, yes. Right. So hopefully now, if I just plug that into the coil, we should have some sparks at the spark plug. Right, that's the green wire wired into the coil. I've taken the HT cap off and spark plug so we can, and cleaned up the engine casing so we can see that hopefully there's a big fat spark there before we obviously get carried away with that old manky spark plug. So, right. Really? Nothing. Damn it. Well, the lead looks all right. So, is there anything electrical on here I don't have to fucking recondition? So it's either, well, it's got to be either the coil, or looking at it, is it earthed properly? Because that, I mean, I can't guarantee the lead's all right, but it doesn't look bad. Anyway, let's get the coil off, see if we can make the earth better. Right, coil's back on there with a decent earth now. And I've changed this HT lead because the old one looked all right, but it was old and stiff. And we all know how that feels, don't we? So no one wants to work when they're old and stiff. So, oh, and I've reduced the gap. I've closed the gap on the spark plug as well, because that helps with points. So let's give that a try then. Oh! Did I see a spark? No, I'm sure that was a spark. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Just needs a good old kick. Excellent. Thank God for that. Even I was getting bored of that then. Okay, so right, they're sparking now. So I've just got the carb from Paul as well this morning. So we'll finish rebuilding the carb, and then we'll, oh no, hang on, before we do that, these engine mounts. I don't want to take the engine out because I'll have to undo all the cables, and that's a whole can of worms. So I want to try and do it in situ. I've never fitted the engine mounts in the frame before. So, but I'd rather do it like that than take the engine out. So we've got to do that now, really, before the carb or tank or anything goes on. So we'll do that, and I'm confusing myself now. Right, so do the carb, then the engine mounts, then put the tank in. Right, plan. Right, back on the bench, and many thanks to Paul Malnichuk. And if ever I pronounce anyone's name wrong, or any town places wrong, or anything, forgive me, because I can't even speak English at the best of times, let alone anything slightly off-piste. So anyway, thanks Paul Malnichuk for this. Like I said, I put a shout out on Facebook if anyone had one, and sure enough, he came through, and I got it the next day. So that's fucking brilliant. Much appreciated. So like I said, I think what I'll do, I mean, it'd be easy to just chuck this one on it. That would be the simple thing to do, wouldn't it? Chuck this one on it. Although it's got a broken top on this, so just replace the top and chuck it on there. But that's not what we're doing here. We're trying to revive the original stuff. So I'm going to take the internal parts that are broken on my one, take them out of here and put them on there, and make a decent carb out of the original carb. Right, that's Paul's in bits, mine in bits, and I've also knocked the atomizer out, which came out really, really easy. And I think, I like I say, I've never worked on these carbs before, but I think they are supposed to just tap out really easy, and that's how you get them out. They just slide in there. But I actually think that the main jet screws in there, and that pulls it down and holds it in place, and that's how they fit in. They just sort of have a sort of slide fit. So yeah, it came out really easy anyway. So I'll obviously put that in my body, and I think I'm going to use his slide as well, because it looks like brand new, this one, whereas mine's got loads of wear on it. So I think I will use that as well with my top. But yeah, mainly all my bits, with a few of the better bits from his carb. Right, so there we go, a rebuilt Micarb carb. The only thing left to do is put the tick over screw in, but an idle screw. But I just thought I'd compare the two, and I don't know why someone's done that, but maybe we'll find out when it's running. But yeah, just, where does it go? That one, yeah. And then we'll obviously do the silent blocks and put the carb on, finish cleaning the tank out, and we'll give it a start. So this morning, bright and early, it's tank day, because this has been marinating now for about 10 days actually, while I've been waiting for the carb and stuff. So that should be well and truly cleaned out now of all that nasty rust and old manky fuel and sludge and everything. So yeah, this morning we will be cleaning out the tank and then putting it back on the scooter, hoping that it's going to start. Ooh. Right, you all know that I'm really popular with the youth. The stats bear that out. But I bet you didn't know that I was really popular with the female audience as well. So Greta, I know you're watching, love. So we have a certain responsibility to uphold the ecology for future generations. And that's why I don't just chuck all this old white vinegar, manky petrol and cleaning products down my next door neighbour's soak away. I like to recycle this stuff properly. And I know that in the past we haven't had much success at doing that. But, you know, once is an accident, twice is just stupidity. BGM Stators. Shh. So that's why this time we're going to use a sealed container to transport. Ouch. A sealed container to transport this down to the recycling centre. So, yeah, let's do that now. It's not a very big funnel, but it's the only one I got. I just have to be careful. Fucking hell. Oh, fuck it. Oh, piss my pants. Damn. Look, I know it looks bad, but all's not lost because we've still got the thumbs up bottle of the hardcore old fuel that was in the tank, which is probably the worst of this anyway. So, yeah, at least we can take that down the recycling centre and get that recycled. So, yeah, there's always a positive.
Love, don't wait, it spins around and around. Yeah, when it's right, baby, don't hesitate. 'Cause love, sweet love, don't wait. Every heartbeat's keeping time to the sound of your heart next to mine. Can't stop this fire burning through. Ooh, the more I fight, the more I want you.
Like that, it hasn't. That's not something that's happened whilst it's been sitting. So someone was actually riding that about like that's ridiculous. I really need to get a new one of these extractors. The threads on it are effed. So let's hope that these aren't rusted in there, because yeah, we could be in big trouble. Well, when I say big trouble, it's a minor inconvenience really, isn't it? But in the great scheme of things. Wow, that was an absolute fucking nightmare. I don't mind telling you. I stripped the threads on my extractor puller. Then I turned it round to use the threads on the other end, and I had to cut the nut off that was welded on there, weld it onto the other end. Then that snapped off. But eventually, with a massive, great big bar, it came off. Yeah. So what I've got to put on there, I found a couple of old used. I don't know whether they're I know they have been fitted before. I don't know why someone would have taken them out of an engine to save them, but it was probably me. No, I don't remember doing that. But yeah, they were just in a box of bits. So I'm just going to, because it's obviously just going to be a temporary thing, just for this ride, just for you. Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one because they haven't got any holes in them. So I don't know what they're off of. I haven't got my glasses, so I can't read that. Anyway, yep, I shall whack this back in, but I won't film it because I shall save you the pain, because this probably is going to be a nightmare as well. Right, lads.
And lasses.
And lasses. They're on anyway. And like I said, I saved you the cursing and the swearing and the banging and the general depression of trying to get those off and new ones on, but we got there in the end. But my puller is absolutely trashed. I've definitely got to get a new puller. Old Faithful. I must have had that for 25 years. But yeah, I think that's the last time that ever fits silent blocks again. Anyway, engine mounts are on. Carb is on. We're almost there. So again, off camera, because it's incredibly boring, I'll put the flywheel cowl on. What else? Oh, yeah, the throttle cable. Oh, I got my suspicions about this. Oh, shit. Oh, dear. God. Okay. We might have to take the headset apart. I'm quite looking forward to seeing what's in there, actually. But yeah, we might have to change that cable. I don't know what it look. No, I was going to say it looks like it's caught fire, but it's just rusty. Right, okay.
I've also put a new, well, I say new, and I've put an old but goodish air filter on there, and as you can see, it's slightly better than the one that was on there before, so at least it'll be able to breathe now.
Right, that was earlier on today, and I've just come back in at night because I really want to see if we can start this tomorrow morning. So I thought I'd come back late and do a little bit of work on it. I've put the tank in. Well, when I say I put the tank in, it's, yeah, I haven't got any rubbers, so it's just had to go back in as it was when I took it out with bits of cloth as support. But I've got the petrol pipe on. I've got the the air filter on. The choke knob has busted off and it's seized, and I haven't actually got another one, a spare one. So I've had to rig this cable up, and I think we're just going to have to operate it like that. You know, once it's going and warmed up, we won't need it. So, but the only thing really I've got to do for tomorrow morning is this throttle cable that seems to be seized. Well, not seems to be seized. It is seized. So yeah, that's the only hold up. So I'm gonna take the headset apart and see what's going on in there. I mean, I think it might be just the cable seized down here, but it might be something up there. So, but I'm quite interested to see what's inside the headset actually. So yeah, let's have a little investigation. I can't see shit. Oh, there we are. Oh, it's actually non-seized, fairly loose, and oh, it's only got one screw in, which isn't the end of the world, because that means a long self-tapping wood screw holding the headlight rim in. A classic. Ooh. Yeah, that's really dirty and horrible in there. Yeah, bummer dude. The throttle cable is C-solid, and I've actually snapped it. When I was trying to pull it, I was, well, being a heavy-handed oaf, and it's, well, I say a heavy-handed oaf. I mean, what can you do when the cable's seized inside the inner, inside the outer? There's only one outcome of that, really, isn't there? And that's a snapped cable. So yeah, I've snapped the throttle cable, but I mean, well, it's a real bummer because it's not just a case of fitting a new inner, is it? I've got to fit a new inner and an outer, obviously, but that means I've got to run the bloody cable through the bodywork. I've got to check if I've actually got one first. And interestingly as well, I've just noticed that not only has it got the brake lever missing, but it's had a front brake cable delete as well. So the inner and outer cable are completely missing, not just cut off, but completely taken out and deleted. That is Team Pacemaker approved. So, what have you been fannying about with for the last hour, Mark? Well, we've now got a working throttle. Hang on, can you see that? So we've got a working throttle. I have put a new, yes, I did buy a brand new lever about a week ago, just for this trip. So we've got a new lever on there. That was, it must have been, that cable can't have been on there for years and years because that was seized in solid. There was so much grease and dirt down here. I had to clean it all out to get a cable down there. And I know what you're thinking. That cable routing is absolutely horrendous. But I don't know what's going on where it usually goes down here. I don't know what's going on down there, but it seems to be blanked off, and you can't get a cable down there. No idea. So I had to. This is the only place I could get the cable down. But yeah. So I mean, who uses a front brake anyway? And then what else have I been doing? So I haven't connected the cable up yet because this front brake I've discovered is C-solid as well. And also, I don't think in the first part, at the beginning of this video, and I said the bearing had collapsed, it didn't really come out too well on video, but this is what I mean. This is a better... And if... That's what I'm talking about. It's absolutely... So I've got to change the bearing in the morning and free off this brake, get this brake working. And apart from that, I think oh yeah, and I've got to put some tyres on here as well, haven't I? Oh yeah, and also I did put a speedo in there just for show, like just so it looked half legal. Yeah, and tomorrow morning, yeah, new tyres, sort the brake and bearings out. and we should have a runner. But anyway, it's 1 o'clock in the morning now, so I'm going home for some sleep. Resume tomorrow. Right, morning. And now it comes down to the moment that I've all been waiting for, the first start. So we've got a spark. We've definitely got a really good compression, actually. We just hope it's going to get some fuel. And we should see it fire into life for the first time in 2 decades or more. That's not JD, by the way. That's 2-stroke from the Series 3 Barn Find series. I've got a fucking a 56. Yeah, 56. And I've got a dressing up box and a prop box now, for fuck's sakes. That's what it's come down to. So, right. Oh, actually, yeah, got my choke there. Right, I think we're ready. Yeah, let's go for it. What do I reckon? Fucking about 100 kicks. Need some choke. Oh God, this isn't going to be easy, is it? Oh, whoops. Didn't bolt that on. Oh, was that a fire? Maybe not. Oh, what? It was a pop. Let's try it without the choke. No, definitely needs choke. Ouch. God damn it. Woo. That is not the ideal place for a choke cable. Definitely needs some choke. Mind you, actually, let's get a pair of mole grips and have that choke clamped fully open. Right, choke's clamped fully open with a pair of mole grips now, so hopefully we can get a better swing on this. She's trying. She's very trying. Does sound a bit like a fuel issue. I noticed we've got a bit of fuel leaking as well. Maybe it's flooding. Let's give it a few more goes. And then maybe I'll just have a look at the carb. So I've given the carb a bit of a blowout and adjusted the float height because it was obviously pissing out everywhere. So it doesn't seem to be leaking anymore. And perversely, it didn't look like it was getting much fuel from the tap. So I've changed the setting on that. It was in between sort of off and reserve. So let's give that another try, see how that goes. Uh-oh. Nothing all of a sudden. That doesn't sound good. Let's have a look at that spark. Oh, plug is soaking wet. Absolutely soaking wet, so I think that's flooded. So the best thing to do with a flooded plug is obviously... Fuck! Shit! Yeah, that's definitely flooded. Anyway, like I said, the best thing to do is burn it off. Yes. Actually, let's just have a look if it's sparking okay still. Oh my God. It's a lovely spark. Lovely. It's actually better than some of the electronic system sparks I've seen lately. Oh my God. That's definitely what it is. Got a bit of a flooding problem. Well, it's sort of running for the first time in 20 odd years. That's definitely, I'd class that as running. Now we've just got to fine tune it. Not sure if this choke is coming off totally. This probably isn't the best system I've ever seen for actually, that's such a crap idea. Let's go back to doing it by hand again. Right, carb stripped and cleaned out again, and I've replaced a couple of the jets from that carb that Paul sent me. And yeah, so hopefully this time, more than any other time, this time, because it's actually started raining now as well. Can you believe it? It's really sunny this morning. British weather at the moment. Anyway, so yeah. This has got to be the one. Oh. Damn it. It's got good compression, this thing. Maybe not this time then. Sorted. Marvellous. Right, so there you have it. Abandoned Lambretta, started it for the first time after 20, 25 years. All we needed was a carb clean out several times, the tank cleaned out, points cleaned up, and she's a goer. Yeah, running like a dream. Well, a sort of more like a lucid fever dream than a wet dream, but she's running like a dream. So I think, well, what I'd like to do actually is see if these tyres will take any air, and then maybe give her a spin around the yard if it stops raining. Although it has actually stopped raining now, so yeah, let's pump these tyres up, see if they'll take any air, and give her a little trip around the yard. Fucking. All right, let's see if this will take some air. When we take this apart, I'll be really interested to see just how many puncture repairs this in-tube's had. Okay. That's not taking any air. Like this one. Oh yeah. Well, 1 out of 2 ain't bad. Oh. Oh, no, hang on. Why is that? Oh, fuck it. Is that the valve? Hang on. Is that just the valve that's sticking? No. Oh, bugger. Well, that's a shame. Oh, no, I'm going to have to change the bloody tyres just to take it for a spin around the yard. Well, I guess I've got to change the tyres anyway, so... Yeah, all right, let's get on with that. I've just taken the rear wheel off and I think I can see the problem here. That's the inner tube. Cracked. So this rim on the outer edge is completely bent and the inner tube started squeezing its way out. This is an absolute mess in here, and it's a classic how not to change a Lambretta inner tube and tyre. So whoever's done this has managed to pinch the inner tube between the two rims when they did it up. But also, it looks like they've over-tightened it. They've over-tightened the rim, because that's supposed to be flat. So it looks like they've hideously over-tightened the rim, and then they've overinflated the tyre, and it's bent between the two bolts points, and the inner tube has come out of the gap, and well, it's probably perished over a number of years, but I imagine that was a big bulge. So yeah, well, that's fucking diabolical, but we can fix it. It's a real shame, actually, because there isn't a single puncture repair in the outside of this inner tube. It's all damage where some animal who didn't know what they were doing has fitted this. has fitted this. So that one on the left, or the top of your picture, is how it's supposed to be, and the one at the bottom is how it's not supposed to be. So let's have a little look if we can bang this back into shape, shall we? There, that's a bit better. It's a little gap, but I haven't bolted it up yet, so once I bolt it up, Once I bolt it up, that should close up. So that's how it should look-ish. I obviously cleaned a bit of this rust off as well. So that should be good for 2,000 miles. Only joking. This is just going to be for this little trip to the Maharaj as well. And then obviously I'm going to put some decent rims and tyres on here. But I should be putting some old manky second-hand tyres on here anyway. So I'll put some old S1s on here. There's plenty of tread on there. They're a bit old, but they're not as old as the ones that came off, I can assure you. And that's how the rim should go together. Right, let's whack that back on.
the donuts. It's not going to work on them, is it? That's a great start. Oh. Oh, you're fucking kidding me. Right, that's too solid, so let's see if this will free it up. I doubt it, but you never know. Right, oh yeah, 100% fucked. You didn't see that, okay? I was explaining to someone the other day about this, about when you do stuff on YouTube, taking stuff apart, you've got to get all the tools, every single spanner, screwdriver, everything you're going to need close to hand. Otherwise, you'll have to do loads of editing later on, and it's a real pain in the ass. But I've just broken my golden rule because I haven't got any tools here whatsoever. I really don't want to break this oil seal because I haven't got one. I bought new bearings, but I forgot to buy oil seals for a very specific reason, because I'm an idiot. So I've got to try and get these oil seals out without wrecking them. I think it's too late for that. Shit. I don't know. What the fuck is going on here? What are these oil seals made of? Steel? Usually they just pop out. No trouble at all. Now I really regret not buying any. Right, that's all out. No problem whatsoever. And should be able to use that one again. Fuck it. Oh, that's the wrong way. Okay, that's the bearings out. Yeah, it's a right pain in the arse job that is, because one comes out that way and the other comes out that way, so you have to kind of use the spacer in between them as a drift and try and drift the first one out by getting it in the middle of the well, I don't know if that is the right way to do it or not. That's the way I've always done it. Maybe I should just read Sticky's book, eh? Right, so I put some WD on here, on the back plate, and it's actually
starting to move slowly. But I thought something looks a bit weird. Is this a different colour? And I just noticed that there's no fucking shoe on there, is there? There's one on there, but the actual lining, sorry, not shoe, the actual lining is completely missing from this one. So that's probably why it had a front brake delete to stop people using it. And I've just noticed there's a Innocenti sign on there, which is weird. And there isn't one on this side. So I think someone's changed one brake shoe on this and not the other one. Perfect. So now I've got to get this other hub apart, this spare hub apart, take the parts out of it to put in this one, because I need a brake shoe that I haven't got, or brake shoes, sorry, that I haven't got, and oil seals, so I'm just going to have to rob them out of here. Mark, why don't you just put that on the bike? Listen, I'll do the thinking, you just do the watching, all right? So that's, you can't see it. Get out of the way. Get off. So that is the new old hub, the silver one. That's that apart. Shoes came out. Oil seals popped out, lovely, like they should. So let's build this white GP hub back up. Right, that's the white hub with the new second-hand brake shoes on it. That's second-hand brake shoes are always Team Pacemaker recommended, OVs, and it's sort of moving. It's good enough. Oh, and I had to modify the cam a little bit in there because obviously these are LI shoes, aren't they, in a GP hub? Should have thought of that, shouldn't you? Okay, so now, right, let's whack the bearings back in. Need to pack them first. OVs. And hub done. Brakes work. No play in the bearings whatsoever. Nice and smooth. And I know what you're thinking. What a fucking pointless exercise. And you'd be right. That's the front one stripped, and disappointingly, it's not anywhere near as bad as the rear one, and I was expecting to find about 20 or 30 puncture repairs in these, and there's not one, which is disappointing for comedy value. So it actually looks all right. I don't know why it doesn't pump up, but obviously I'm going to change it anyway. Yeah, and the tyre. But unfortunately, the rim, well, this half of the rim is in terrible, terrible state. Look, it's even got holes in the... And it's really badly corroded, obviously. And there's holes in it. So I can't use that. But the other side, I've cleaned it up and it isn't too bad. Well, I say it isn't too bad. It's usable. It's usable for a 30-mile round trip anyway. So in my collection of bits, I found this other half a rim, which is a perfect colour for this. So let's put that back on the scooter and take it for a little ride around the yard. And that's the front one on, and I forgot to say I was putting Continental Classics, brand new Continental Classic actually on the front. So the hub's all on there as well, and I haven't got a flipping adjuster to go on there, so I've just ordered one. It doesn't really matter about riding around the yard, does it? But I can't blimmin' ride it to the Maharaj as well till I get another adjuster. I can't believe I've not got one in my boxes of bits, but I think I've used them all up over the years. So, and the only other thing I think to do, because we've got a day or so now before I can actually leave before I can ride it to the well, I might as well change this seat over, eh? And, oh bloody hell, where is it? What are you going to put on there, Mark? Well, I've got this lovely old original, I think late 70s, early 80s Ancelotti. It's a lovely shape. And I know that it's that old because I can trace the history of this scooter. Fuck's sake. Trace the history of this seat. So yeah, that's going to look lush. So let's get it on. Right, that looks so much better. Done it though. I love the shape of these original Ancelottis. On GPs as well. Oh yeah, I also got a brand spanking new horn grille. It needs a little bit of fettling before we put that on permanently, but it at least makes the bike look a bit more legal is the wrong word, but a bit more less pullable. And a new rear light lens, which sticks out like a sore thumb on the rear end there. So I think well, what we'll do is just take it around the yard, just see if we can get all the gears and the clutches working okay. And then we've got, well, it needs a wash, doesn't it, really? Basically, it needs a wash. So we'll take it to the jet wash and give it a damn good deep clean. Well, the clutch works absolutely fine. And I got first gear. Because this engine hasn't run for like 20 odd years, we really should go easy on it, shouldn't we, to start off with? Sort of ease it in gently. So yeah, let's give it a decent run now, shall we? Bollocks. Stuck in the... Damn it. I think we should get out of here before the landlord sees us and accuses us of some sort of driving offence. In my defence of the offence, this rear brake, it feels like it's doing something. The pedal feels like it's actually doing something, but it isn't, basically. And with no front brake at all, that is ended in consequences. But well, these Indian GPs have notoriously bad rear brakes because the casings were machined really badly. So I guess, well, that's something we can get into when we rebuild the engine. That's not something I'm going to sort of address now. I just have to, when I get that, just to rely on the front brake a bit more. Yeah, let's get out of here. So, maiden voyage, lost one side panel and one driving offence. I forgot about this actually. So it's rotted away a little bit here and it hasn't actually got a clip on to hold the panel on. So yeah, we've got to do a little bit of work before we ride this on the road, i.e. find some way of fixing that panel on and sort out this rear brake. The clutch and the gears though seem really good. The clutch is adjusted perfectly and works absolutely fine. Seems to get all the gears, so that's one positive. I'll tell you what we'll do is we'll go down the jet wash now and give this a damn good clean and come back and try and have a look at that panel and rear brake issue. So I don't know whether that looks better. I guess it does look better, doesn't it? At least it's brought some of that blue colour back out, this sort of royal petrol blue that I was talking about. You can sort of see that a bit better now. Oh, you can see it really well under there. Yeah, so I'm sort of hoping that when I get the Brillo pad out and start Brilloing some of this, it will get that surface rust off and bring some of that blue back out. But yeah, at least it looks a little bit more presentable, sort of. Right, so it's finally here and fitted. top quality, of course. So we sort of have a front brake now, although you sort of have to manually push the lever forward for it to return. That kind of fits in with the rear brake though, doesn't it? That's decidedly iffy. So I think we're sort of ready for our... oh, and even fitted the front leg shield badge. Posh. And the trim, but I only fitted the leg shield trim because I needed to fit a camera bracket to it. So, and what else did I do? Oh yes, I permanently fixed the side panels on with a bungee strap, so that can't go anywhere-ish. So the only downside is we haven't actually got any lights working on it, but it's a lovely day today, so I'm hoping we'll make it back before nightfall because it's 8 o'clock in the morning, so let's hope so. There is one other downside. This morning I did notice that the kickstart oil seal was hanging out of the chain case. But when I moved the kickstart about, I did notice it seems to have a little bit of play. So I've no idea how long and what sort of life that's got left in it. And even worse than that as well, I did notice that when you move the kickstart, the rear hub's moving as well, which usually means the gearbox end plate is loose. But I really don't have time to take this chain case off and investigate that this morning. So we're just going to have to keep our fingers crossed about that. So we're sort of ready for the off, and what could possibly go wrong? Flat tyre, that's my professional. couple of miles down the road, and I'm sort of starting to get the hang of it. It's okay on the straight, actually. It's just the corners are really sketchy. But I just pulled over because I thought I'd put the 3D camera on, see if we can. Well, I was just testing it out, really. So I'm just going to do a little test on that, and we need to go the back way, really, because I don't really want to go through the centre of Reading, because there's obviously going to be a lot of police action. So yeah, we're going to try and get to the Maharaj as well via the back road. So yeah. Do you want your... have we got fuel? Shit. Have we got a spark? The spark plug's still on there. Have we got fuel? Oh, God. Actually, we can see if we got any fuel in the pipe, can't we? Ah. Oh, yeah, that'll be why then. Bum. Shit. Right, well, we've been here before, lads, haven't we? Luckily, this time I'm local, so I know for a fact that there's a fuel station at the end of the road, about a mile away. So, yeah. In my defence, it's all Trump's fault, because £5 in fuel doesn't really seem to go very far these days, does it? And I guess fannying about with that carb, it was leaking all over the place, and riding about the workshop yard, etc. And look, all right, I should have checked before I left, all right? Is that what you wanted to hear? You wanted me to admit that I was wrong? Dream on, dreamer. Don't, okay, just don't. Let's just keep this between me and you, all right? Oh, for fuck's sake. Right, let's try that again, shall we?
Walking along, minding my own. Never been here before, know where I come. You can't take the best away from me yet. This town don't know me, but that don't mean I'm done. Stoic as fuck, thoughts in my head. Why does it need to be printed in red? Can't take the best away from me yet. This town might know me, but that don't mean I'm done. Oh no, can we make the deal? Oh no, can we make him feel? When it feels just like nothing else matters.
Right, so at least we've made it 3/4 of the way through our journey. The worst of it's over now anyway, because we got through Reading okay, and I was a bit concerned about either getting pulled over or breaking down. Oh no, we did break down, didn't we? But that was self-inflicted, so that doesn't matter. So yeah, we made it 3/4 of the way, but I thought I'd pull over here because our next stretch of the road is what's known locally as the 13 Bends of Death. Not just by me and the locals, but also the Times newspaper. But all joking aside, it really isn't somewhere you want to break down on a motorbike, because there's loads of blind bends. It's a really fast road. There's loads of blind bends. You've got buses, tractors hurtling along there. They're really thin lanes as well, and there's only 2 small lanes. So yeah, that's probably best if we just pull over and give her a little rest, because she is a little bit stinky, I have to say, but I think it's just all the old oil burning off of her. And also, I don't know if you can hear it on the camera, but she's a bit spluttery at the moment as well, and we seem to have lost tick over. I guess it's almost like the choke's on a little bit, which I guess we should investigate, shouldn't we, while we're stopped. And also, I don't know if you can hear it on camera, but she keeps jumping out of gear as well, especially in 4th. I keep losing 4th, so maybe we could, it seems a bit slack actually, maybe I could tighten up the gear cables. But apart from that, the brakes are horrendous. It handles like a bag of shite. And even, well, like I said earlier in the video, it's almost like it's got a flat tyre, but also I've noticed at low speeds it's got some sort of speed wobble as well. I don't know whether one of the rims is buckled or the hub's warped or something, but yeah, it's got a bit of a wobble at low speeds as well. So all in all, a lovely ride so far, but I guess we should go for this, shouldn't we, before it gets dark, because we haven't got any lights either. So yeah, let's get it on.
Walking along, minding my own. Never been here before, know where I come. You can't take the best away from me yet. This town don't know me, but that don't mean I'm done. Stoic as fuck, thoughts in my head. Why does it need to be printed in red? Can't take the best away from me yet. This town might know me, but that don't mean I'm done. Oh no, can we make the deal? Oh no, can we make him feel? When it feels just like nothing else matters, can you make the
So Mark, with your dodgy helmet hair, what is this doing in this little village in the middle of nowhere? Well, let me give you a brief history. So, in a nutshell, because we don't really want to be a travel review program as well as a confectionery review program and a scooter adventure channel. I must put my teeth back in. So, yeah, a guy called Edward Anderson Reed, who was the son of a local squire down the road, spent his entire adult working life in India, like a lot of the Victorian establishment at the time, because India was the jewel in the crown of the British Empire at that time. And he ended up becoming the commissioner for Benares, and ended up becoming best mates with the Maharaja of Benares. And don't ask me to pronounce his name. And he told him about the lack of water in his local village, which is just like the Indians had drought. They also had droughts in and around Ipswich and Stoke Road because of the lack of water, because they're so high up here. It's always confused me why they actually built villages up here on top of a hill. It doesn't really make sense. But anyway, to cut a long story short, because of their really close friendship, the Maharaja decided to gift the well to Stoke Road to coincide with the Prince of Wales' marriage in 1863. Obviously transforming the village's life around here. You know, back in those crazy times when millionaires and billionaires built schools and libraries and parks for the local community that weren't so well off as themselves, instead of, like, I don't know, rockets for them and their mates to spend the afternoon in space, or social media platforms so their voice could be louder than everyone else's. Obviously, there's a lot more to this story, and the design and construction, including a model of the well that was given to the Queen in India in 1961, and a visit from the Duke of Edinburgh in 1964. But even better than that, when the well fell into disrepair in the late 70s, Arthur Daly himself and Roy Hudd raised money for the restoration of this well. Television royalty indeed. Anyway, that's enough of that. We really have to get going before it starts getting dark. Just stopped down the road from Stoke Road to show you something, because this is a bit of a trip down memory lane for me. So back in the day when I was about 10, 11, 12, me and my mates used to cycle down here from Wallingford, which I guess is about 6-7 miles away, just to cycle down that hill over there that you can't see, because trust me, bruv, it's great fun. It's really steep and long hill, and look, this was in the days before computers. So anyway, yeah, so we cycle like 6 or 7 miles, just cycle down that hill. But at the bottom of this hill, there was this place that used to be called Ipswich Bird Farm, and then it was called Well Place Zoo. And well, I think it shut down about 30 years ago or something. And they used to have like scarlet macaws, and you can still see the entrance over there. Scarlet macaws and minor birds that used to swear at you, and parakeets and cockatoos and stuff like that. In actual fact, the cages are still there. If you can, well, you can't see them, but I've seen them. The cages are all still there. And over there used to be, I was going to say used to be goats, but there's actually a goat there at the moment. Oh no, it's a sheep, sorry. So there was like goats over there and donkeys and stuff, and rabbits that you could pet. And then over in that corner over there was otters, which were flipping great. So I loved the otters, although they were stinky, guy. But right at the back of this bird farm, in the corner that you can't see because the trees are in the way, they actually had cages of chimpanzees. And me and my mates used to, look, don't judge me, all right? Me and my mates used to bring up fruit pastels and feed them to the chimpanzees because we thought that was but look, this was 45, 50 years ago. It was the 1970s. A lot of worse things went on in the 1970s other than kids feeding chimpanzees fruit pastels. Well, we ate fruit pastels by the fucking shitload and we turned out all right. So anyway, don't judge me. We used to find it a great laugh to feed the chimpanzees fruit pastels up here. That's all I wanted to say. Right, my brethren and brethren-esses. Yeah, we did get back okay, and before it got dark just as well, without issue, although I don't think I'd want to ride this much further because I really don't know what's holding the exhaust on at the moment. Not a great deal, I don't think. But the engine has also become quite difficult to start. I think it's carb issues again, and that is being exacerbated by this kickstart that has become really stiff. So I really don't know how long that's got left in this world. But also, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but that rear hub and wheel has got a lot of play. So I think, as I said earlier on in the video, that's probably the gearbox end plate. So I really don't want to ride this too much further in its current form. So although I don't have full confidence in the future reliability of this scooter in its current state, I did, however, get over the handling issues because I don't really remember thinking about them on the way home, so subconsciously I must have just got used to it. But I guess I was just looking at the videos of the journey on the way back and realised that this episode is probably going to be about 3 hours, 2.5, 3 hours long at the moment. So I think we should just call this a day for this episode now. And yeah, the next episode is going to be the strip down, rebuild and reimagine of this scooter. And yeah, we'll be, like I said earlier, we'll be going up to Scotland to see Craig and getting some pinstriping done by Slacker, etc., etc. So yeah, a bit of a reimagination of this. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one.
You can't take the best away from me yet. This town don't know me, but that don't mean I'm done. Stoic as fuck, thoughts in my head. Why does it need to be printed in red? You can't take the best away from me yet. This town might know me, but that